What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the
Lions Out of Water podcast.
In this episode, we have some interesting topics to talk about. It's been a little bit of a while since we've had a new podcast. As you can see here, hopefully the audio is a little better. We'll have to kind of play it by ear. The backup mics are on the cameras right now. But you know what? We're going to play it by ear. Maybe this works out and the audio is a little bit better so you can hear our beautiful voices. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video.
What's happening?
So, where we are currently right now, it is March.
It's not March.
Sorry, May. It is May 7th.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's May 8th.
May 8th. We are exactly 3 days away. We are very excited for that. Our walleye season is beginning very soon. This Monday, we'll be out of Big White Shell, so that'll be hopefully a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a good time out there. But we want to talk a little bit about where we're kind of at right now with everything and what's going on in our, not personal lives, but our, I guess, kind of our lives.
Digital lives?
Our digital lives, yeah. That's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
What are you looking at? Well, not much has been going on. I've been pumping a few videos out on my channel and on Nathan's channel here and there. When was the last time we filmed a podcast? In the winter.
The last one was the conservation one. We're on episode 5 now.
Wow, that's not too bad. Not too
Yeah,
bad at all.
not too bad.
Yeah, we're doing good. We just kind of wanted to, talk about walleye opener and, like Nathan said, and just where we're at and, different techniques for walleye opener and just, go from there. So,
We are seeing very beautiful weather, first of all.
oh yeah.
It looked like it was going to be a little bit of a late one. There was, spring, and then all of a sudden, winter came back there, and it was snowing. Although this week it's been raining, so that's not terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
been raining.
it's been low.
Last week. It's good because most of the lakes in Manitoba right now are very low.
Yeah.
Like the Red River, we checked it out a couple days ago, and it is super low. So it's good to see rain in the forecast. I don't see it in the future from now, but it's good that it's been producing rain to get those lakes up and hopefully the fish fired up.
Yep. The last time we were ice fishing, it was, I don't know if we were fishing together, but we basically went to the end. I was fishing the last day that you're allowed to. And the last time we were open water fishing is when there was still ice on the lake. We went to a little lagoon in Grand Beach.
Yeah.
Did a little bit of a photo shoot. You can check that out on the Instagram. But yeah, we haven't really had an official fishing trip or outing, so that's what we're
I've
gonna.
had one. That's
You've
it.
had one.
Yeah.
We're gonna have our first one together this Monday, so that'll be interesting.
sir.
We're gonna hopefully film that, get a lot of footage for that. That'd be nice. But yeah, I'm very excited. Big plans for this season. I want to do a lot more walleye fishing. I want to do some big smallmouth. We have to hopefully do a croduck outing in the summer. If you guys haven't watched the other croduck videos, we have 2 out of my channel. Caden has.
I have 0 because I didn't have a camera filming with me at the
Yeah.
time. But I have a camera and the appropriate tripod for the boat, so hopefully I'll be pumping out a few big smallmouth videos and a few big walleye videos and pike and just croduck videos.
Yeah.
So.
Because this kid, if you think about it, would have the most content out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if you're working at a lodge for 2 months straight, barely ever coming home, you have no time to edit and film and whatever that. So
It's going to be a whole lot of footage on SD cards and
yep.
drives, and it'll be interesting for sure. I might have to buy a laptop, but I'm broke.
Yeah, you might want to buy a laptop that doesn't have a USB port. That is crazy. But yeah, very exciting. So croduck trips this summer. Maybe some catfish here and there during the week after school kind of thing.
Those are fun.
Hopefully we can get away from crowds. It was nice when we went because it's a little cooler. There's not as many people.
Yeah, it's midday. If you went on a Friday night, Saturday night, you probably even couldn't find a spot on the bank. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yep. The plan is to stay low. We're not going to any Selkirk boat launches. We're not getting in the crowd. I want to just get away from the crowd entirely this summer. I want to fish in the most uncharted places if I can. I mean, I want to do a lot of Lake Winnipeg, obviously. Everyone fishes Lake Winnipeg. But I want to go into more back lakes and all that sort of thing. So that'd be very cool. Find some fish that have not been touched by most people. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'll be interesting. Yeah, I have a couple trips in mind that we probably should do is horseshoe. I did a video recently, a smallmouth video in horseshoe ice fishing. That was our first time ice fishing for smallmouth in the winter, and that was a blast, so go check that out. And yeah, so hopefully we can do that in the summer. It was a little. We had an experience in what was that, November?
Yep.
There was like almost ice on the lake. It was like -3 or -5 or something like that. We went out on the boat and we absolutely froze our butts off. So that was a little bit of a rough experience for both of us, I'd say. But yeah, our plan is to go back in the summer and probably spend overnight there. So that'll be kind of interesting and basically just film and catch as much fish as possible.
On that note, just for a little context for those of you guys who don't know, my hands don't have great circulation. So when this kid said, yeah, let's drag a boat, let's walk in a trail, cross meditation, drag a boat on a homemade trolley that he made in Woods class in like 30 minutes, into a lake in -5 and maybe catch a bass. Yeah, my hands were gone, didn't catch anything. This kid caught a fish, so I guess that was
one bass and it was like 12 inches.
Awful. I've never earned a couch sitting for like an hour straight.
We've never
ever in my
earned
life.
Heat more in our
Yeah.
lives than that trip.
I'm actually like a piece of me that doesn't even like fishing
That
anymore
was
because
probably
of
the
that.
coldest I've ever been in a boat.
Yeah,
It
that
probably
that was pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, escape the crowd, get on some fish, and hopefully do some content. Fish some lakes that people haven't fished in a while. So when you search up on YouTube, this lake, that lake, this lake, our video pops up, and you'll see how we did. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to do more multi-species too. Like other than the elusive walleye. Like the first couple weekends would be walleye, obviously, big white shell, or really wherever else. But it's usually when it's hot is the walleye bites in the spring is really good, and then kind of more throughout the summer. I want to experiment with some goofy baits, like some big baits to try and get a bigger bite out of something, whether it be bass, pike, walleye. To be like just more of a multi-species thing than just catching a whole bunch of fish. Believe it or not, I get bored of catching walleye and crawdad. Most people would. Yeah, this kid doesn't.
Must be nice.
But yeah, I actually get bored of catching walleye, so it'll be fun. I go for bass mostly, but yeah, I plan to break a 20-inch bass this summer. It's happening. I think I caught a 19.25 last summer, so it's possible.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'd be more impressed if you caught a fish that's bigger than 23 inches on that lake. That's a walleye. It's a walleye.
Oh, it's a walleye. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think the biggest I've ever caught was like 26 or something like that. Nothing impressive.
If you've ever played a video game where every time you cast in a fishing video game you catch a fish, it's basically crawdad. Side note. And there's like too many fish. I think they should up the keep limit from 2 to maybe just 3 for a little bit. But that's just me. But yeah.
No, honestly, it's
yeah.
Yeah, they really should. Because yeah, all the walleye are basically stunted in that lake. Like it's a good healthy population, but there's just a stupid number of walleyes in there. It is absolutely ridiculous. You can sit on one spot and hammer 150 fish in a day, and they're all like chunky, 16, like anywhere from 15 to 18 inches. And we at Crawdad there, we hear of the elusive, master angler being caught that is 28 inches or bigger.
That is like.
Yeah, we heard of. Well, this year actually we had 2 fish that were over 28. Sorry, 3 fish that were over 28 that we know of. There was a 30.25 and 2 29s. So they're in there. It's just you gotta find them, right?
So let's keep in mind a time frame of 2 months, only 3 master angler fish. That just goes to show you, like
that I know of. We, there could be some guests that don't like sharing their secrets, and they could have caught more, or day trips that don't even know what a master angler is and accidentally caught one, kind of thing. So we're not totally sure. I bet you there was more. But that's kind of the documented that we heard of.
So yeah, we'll be out on the boat this Monday, big white shell. The video we did, I guess it was last spring. Remember
we did 2 videos. There was one last spring in late May, and then we did one in July.
Remember that boulder one? The boulder one.
What's that?
We were fishing like the boulders.
Yes, that was late May. So they're going to be on boulder, they're going to be on shoreline-based boulders, sand flats, and all that stuff. They're going to be up shallow for sure because it's, colder. I think the water temperature is probably 50 degrees in Big White Shell right now, so it is pretty cold. But it'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, last year we did a video, and that was absolutely ridiculous.
That was fun.
Out there. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Speaking of that video, actually, the photos of it, yeah, the one with the SLX. Yeah, the photos of it made into the Hooked magazine.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It literally just came out. Like it's the latest issue. It's the spring issue of 2024. I made the front page, like the front cover, the exclusive, whatever you want to call it. And then yeah, technically I wrote the article, but it was about our trip, and you have a picture in it. So
Yeah.
if you guys like Hooked magazines, you can go check that out. Spring edition 2024. But yeah, I like. I don't know what it is about that day.
I know.
But it wasn't even like a super crazy fishing day, but I remember that day like
we
very
had
well.
a day and a half. We had one full day, and we had like an evening. That evening was ridiculous. We had a limit of walleye in probably half an hour.
Yeah.
And they were all nice 16, 17 inch. Sorry, I think we had 2 limits. Did we not?
Yeah, no, yeah, we each had our limit.
Yeah, we had 2 limits in probably half an hour, maybe pushing an hour.
Did not take that long,
It
yeah.
did not take long at all.
Yeah, because I remember you came back from Croduck from work, and I was waiting on the shore, and I didn't realize that you were also waiting for me on the shore, and we were waiting for no one, and then we kind of like realized, oh, there you are, right there. Yeah, that's right.
And then we launched the boat that night and went fishing that night, and absolutely had a smash fest of walleye.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That spot, there's a Croduck spot, but everywhere where there's rocks.
Which is kind of unfortunate because we lost probably like $50 a person in jigs.
Yeah, we're not using nice jigs. I'm not throwing down the Tungsten Northland jigs down there, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, it was absolutely awful. So I might try a different approach and try jerk baits.
Oh.
You know, something that's going to suspend more.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, why would you want to save money and then throw a jerk bait? How does that make sense?
Well,
if as long as it's not sinking.
If we're fishing in like 8 feet of water with boulders, I might as well because it's only going to dive 6 feet down.
Knowing your luck, that thing is going right.
$20 each. So if I lose one, I'm cutting my losses.
Yeah, that X-Wrap. I love the X-Wrap in the back. Like the back trail obviously has like the things on it, but
yeah, the bucktail.
Knowing your luck, that's definitely going in a rock.
Oh, 100%.
We'll get that on film, guys. Don't worry.
I'm getting raging that I lost $20 in the cast.
Yeah, rocks hold the most heat.
Really?
So.
Sorry.
Okay, well. Sorry. So yeah, that's why in the spring, when it's cold, like you said, 50 degrees, rocks are going to have the most heat. Fish are going to gravitate more towards the rocks, the big boulders. Boulders are very nice for holding fish because they're super easy to find, first of all. If you're in clear water especially, you could just see them. But on your graph, it's very easy to see the boulders. And in the springtime, this time around, you see boulders, it's probably fish. That's why I love fishing this time of year as well.
Yeah, any extended shoreline that has like a secluded point or a little rocky edge or something like that, or even if you just know a certain spot in the lake that has chunky boulders, which I'm pretty experienced with on that lake, yeah, you can pretty much find the whole food chain there. You'll find smallmouth, you'll find bass, you'll find pike. You'll find bass, pike, walleye. I said the same species twice, my bad. You'll find perch in there, crappie. But yeah, those rocks, like Nathan said, they heat up pretty quick because of the sun projects down into the water and heats it up. And for springtime, you want to find warm water. That is like the first thing you want to look for. So any creek outlets or large, expansive spawning bays, or even just rocky shorelines, or even big like rock faces on the lake sometimes will heat up pretty fast too. But yeah, also sand will hold heat too because it's basically just little rocks, and you know, like a shallow sandy bay will also hold some fish on there too. But then you're also dealing with more pike than walleye, which is kind of unfortunate because you break off 9 times out of 10.
Kind of a random note. My favorite type of weather in the spring is when it's warm, but it's overcast and it's raining a bit, like in the middle of the night, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun to fish in places that are shallow when there's no sun out. There's pre-algae, like there's no all the vegetation as it come in, and I'm not like trying to sound like condescending, but sun in shallow water, the sun hits the ground a lot easier. That's why you get more vegetation. So that's generally where you're gonna find the most spots. Clear the lake, clear the waters, and get more vegetation. Funny how Lake Winnipeg has like little to no vegetation growing out of the bottom.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm super excited. That'd be fun.
That would be lots of fun. Yeah, we're gonna lose a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared. I'm actually gonna bring my. It's kind of good that I have like the jigs that you buy in like bulk. I usually just buy like packs of jigs now. They're like good quality, but I'm actually bringing my crap jigs because if I lose it, I'm more worried about the amount of leader I use as opposed to the actual jig. So that'd be fun. No minnows. We're not using minnows. If you're fishing, yeah, if you're completely just a minnow head and you just fish minnows, let's rethink it here a little bit, especially in big white shell. Maybe not like Winnipeg, but clear lakes. Let's just transition more to plastics, or at least give it a try if you've never tried it before, because we're strictly going to be using plastics. We haven't made that clear already. Sorry, didn't get it. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Transitioning a little bit back in time.
Are you trying to say transition?
Yeah,
Yes.
whoa, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Back in time, I don't think we've ever talked about how we got into fishing or, like, how far we've come. Like,
We probably briefly came
Yeah.
over it, but yeah, we probably haven't gone much in depth. Let's start with you.
because the
entertaining.
juxtaposition from now and, like, 10-year-old Nathan it's crazy. So the story is, I didn't grow up in a fishing family at all. I had a great-grandfather that, like, fished a little bit, hunted a little bit in, like, New Brunswick. Other than that, not a speck of hunter or fishing aura in my family at all. So 10-year-old Nathan's by the beach one day at the lake, and he sees these two kids fishing, like, way down on the beach. And for some reason, I'm like, you know what? I want to try that. I want to try it right now. The problem was, though, I didn't own a rod. So what I did, 10-year-old Nathan's like, we're going to get a stick and a bungee cord, and we're going to catch a fish. Well, my imagination was running wild, let me tell you. I thought this was going to work. So then what I did is I found a dead fish on shore, and it was like drying, baking in the sun. It was a walleye looking back on it. And I took the skin, I don't know what because that's the only thing that can fit on a bungee cord. And I remember it was like a little bit of waves, and I remember sitting on a rock, literally like out of a cartoon. Like the guy fishing on the rock and just holding his rod like that is exactly what it was. And I remember I looked away for a second, doing whatever, and looking back on it now, a wave came up and like took it off. But my imagination, I looked back down after the wave hit my thing. I looked down, it was gone. And literally like embers in my body just like exploded, and all my nerves is like, yeah, I need to do this a lot more often. This is great.
Oh my god.
So I went back home that Sunday night. My dad had a rod in the garage, and I kid you not, I wanted so bad to fish that I was like practicing in the field with like, I don't know what we tied on, like a nut or something, and I was casting out, retrieving in a field. It was crazy addiction already. I didn't know what became of it, and then it exploded, and I didn't have like off periods. Like I literally and I watched so many videos. This was like before fishing. Like people were making a living watching fishing videos, so this was 8 years ago. I don't think Flair and like I liked watching Flair. I liked watching John B. All the bass guys. I didn't really watch local like walleye guys. A lot of bass fishing.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing ever. Fast forward to now, working at a fishing store, fishing channel, fishing
Probably like $10,000 worth of fishing gear.
live imaging, boat. We've come a long way. So yeah, it's crazy.
Wild. So yeah, I don't even know where my fishing experience started, honestly, because I grew up in a fishing family opposite of Nathan, and I honestly don't know where it started. I'm not gonna lie. Oh boy, I was probably holding a rod in my hand like when I could walk. So I bet you like 5 or 6, I was actually going out fishing like in ponds and stuff like that, like little Lafarge ponds, Reynolds ponds, and Garson ponds. That's another one too. Yeah, my dad took me trout fishing. I don't remember him picking me up the rod, but I remember being at the pond, and you know those like little like Buzz Lightyear rods that have like the fake fish on it?
Yes.
Yeah, so I had one of those, but my dad took the fake fish off and put a little bobber and a worm, and my first ever fish was a little rainbow trout about that big. I absolutely fell in love with fishing from there.
Let's go!
Yeah. It was so small. I had like a bucket hat on with a bandana on my head. I had like, when you're sick, you have like those strips across your nose. Like, do you know those? Like the strips across your nose, like to help you breathe. Yeah, I had one of those on. I had a life jacket, even though I was on shore. I had orange shirts and like a pink shirt. I was decked out. I was ready to go fishing.
Okay, hold on. Time out. First of all, over like that's dad level 10,000. They didn't want you
100%.
drowning.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And second of all, why did you have a nose piece on?
I probably was sick.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
So, yeah, we went fishing from there, and those ponds are actually closed now. I believe the Garson ponds are just a swamp. The business went to crap or whatever. But yeah, I caught a little rainbow trout there, and ever since then, I kind of just went fishing with my dad all the time because my dad wanted me to grow up in a fishing family. Like he wanted to introduce it to me and take me on these crazy trips, just like my grandpa did to my dad. So yeah, basically from there, it took off, and then I think around like 7 or 8, I was starting to buy my own fishing gear, and then that's kind of where my fishing addiction happened, where I spend thousands of dollars on fishing gear now. So that's where it started from. And then yeah, basically took off from there.
Very true that spending thousands of dollars part, because when this kid comes in the store, I can sell him anything, and he'll be like, "Yep." The money part's just like it's fairy dust. Doesn't matter to him. He's just like, "Yep, want that."
It's non-existent.
It's. Okay, I've never watched that movie. Anyway.
Never watched that.
No.
You have to watch that movie. It's literally about making money.
Okay, sorry. Where were we? Yeah. And sorry, yeah, the point I was gonna make is how you wanted your dad to your dad wanted to make you like fishing.
Yeah.
Problem is now you like it like more than him.
Oh yeah. So
and
when I was younger, like 10 years old or whatever, like 7 years ago, my dad used to plan fishing trips for me. Now I plan fishing trips for my dad. So he used to drag me on crazy stuff, like I throw motors on my back and walk into bushes and carrying boats in the lakes and all that fun stuff. And now I make him do that. I know now what he was feeling when I was younger. So yeah, it takes off from there. The rest is history.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of planning trips, this kid, I will get a phone call. It'll say Caden Parisian. I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh boy.
When I answer the phone, I kid you not, whenever I hear, okay, hear me out, or I have an idea, the first thing I always say, what is the first thing I always say?
How much is this going to cost me?
Yes, every time. Because this kid will be like, yeah, here's what we're going to do. Even though it's June 22nd, we're going to drive north, we're going to find ice, we're going to camp in a tent in minus 30, then we're going to film it, and then we're going to go shoot a polar bear, and then we're going to come back in one day. Like, this kid just pulls stories and, like, ideas of what to do, like, out of a storybook. I don't know.
Thin air, yeah.
Yeah. How much is it going to cost me? That is the word. Yeah. How much is it going to cost me?
Yeah, it's kind of a problem, but also something good to have, because I mean we've had good trips, but 80% of them are just like, yeah, why are we here? Hence horseshoe.
Yeah, there's literally a few times where I've questioned and I'm just like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Why am I here? Like that horseshoe, that's one of the few times I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
I got to the moment I knew, I was like, yeah, this is gonna go downhill from here, is when we started driving through the road filled with snow, and we got to the parking lot, and I was tired, and we didn't even get to the gate, and it was
really?
like a 2-minute walk.
You were tired?
Like remember how
yeah. I know what you're talking
we
about.
get to park, and then there was like more parking lot. Yeah, I was already like, okay, my triceps are killing me. Like this is great. I'm sweating already. I'm like, we're not even close to the lake. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be an absolute brutal day.
Okay, side note, I didn't mean to talk about this trip so much, but there's so many lessons that you guys can learn from this trip.
Oh yeah.
So there was a boat that Caden was like, okay, I think is there, that's unlocked.
Well, yeah, like it was my friend's boat that he has in there that's locked up, but he broke the key inside the lock, so he basically just wrapped it around a tree and made it look like it was locked. So there was a very good possibility that there was not going to be that boat there. Like someone could have stole it, or someone could have been using it at the time, which I doubt because it was November. But still, we had that, or I had that thought going through my head, and yeah, when we got there, it was there. So
first of all, this kid had no clue if this boat was actually there.
Yeah.
Second of all, there was no motor on it. So guess what we had to do? We had to carry in a motor. If you've ever seen a dolly, is that what you call them? Just the dolly,
Yeah.
like a blue dolly, like a Mastercraft blue dolly. I think is what we have.
I think so.
You had a boat like you. How did you even put it on?
So
It was kind of smart, but it was like
you know those dollies that could carry around stuff like in workplaces or whatever. So what I did is I put I think it was a 2x6 or a 2x4 on that dolly, and I basically like screwed it in and ratchet strapped it around the dolly, so I could put my motor, like the teeth where it goes onto the boat, onto that piece of wood, like kind of under the handle where it is, it fits like perfectly, and it's a 15 horse, which is absolutely amazing. And it's super light. It's a 2-stroke, so it's nice. But yeah, I made it work. And the little lip at the bottom carries the gas tank. But the gas tank weighs 20 pounds, and the motor also weighs 20 pounds. So it's like 50 pounds of weight dragging through, what, 4 inches of snow?
Yeah, the snow was the hard part. It wasn't even that it was heavy. I mean, it was kind of annoying on the
triceps, yeah.
tricep workout, by the way.
Triceps and shoulders were absolutely gone when we got to the lake. I was like, oh boy, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
Never mind, we had to carry a motor and a gas tank in there. We had to carry a full 14-foot boat.
Guys, I literally can't, like, I don't even like thinking about this trip. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it honestly
we take a boat across meditation. My hands are gone. We have to take this boat out of the water, put it on a dolly that you, like, made in, like, a half hour.
Yeah, I made it in probably 20
And
minutes.
imagine you're cold, you're sweating, you're going through a trail, and this dolly that's holding the boat that you're carrying keeps falling off.
Keep in mind, the dolly and the boat is around the size of the trail.
Yeah.
The trail was no wider than the boat. So there was parts where we had to kind of like navigate around so the dolly wouldn't get caught on a tree. But half the time, since there was snow and it was wet and it was also cold, the boat kept sliding off of the dolly because it was just wood. So we kept ratchet strapping it down. It took us the hike in with no gear, maybe like a fishing rod and stuff like that. The hike in is 2 minutes. I think it took us like 20 minutes to get across that trail. It was maybe like, it's not even like half a kilometer. It's like 0.2 of a kilometer or something like that. And it took us 20 minutes. So do the math there. Yeah, it was absolutely brutal. It was awful. It was quite the experience because now we can look back on it and laugh. That's what I just kept saying to myself that whole day. Like,
Oh yeah, I laugh about it a lot now. Yeah. Oh yeah.
we can think about it and just, go, why did we do that kind of thing? But also it, somewhat being kind of funny that we put ourselves through that. But
Here's the thing, and I'm not complaining. Well, I kind of am complaining, but
yeah, you are.
I'm not like. I guess I am complaining, but anyway, the whole thing is I want to do a lot of more like that. I just don't want to do it in like when there's snow and it's cold.
Okay, well, summer's a great season for you then.
Yeah. My hands are cold. See, that's the plan. I want to do a lot of back lakes. I just want to do it when it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
I can handle mosquitoes. I can't handle -5. Hands gone.
Yeah, I'll take mosquitoes
left
over
the
like
chat.
-10 any day.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, we've come along. That was a good trip. Come a long way. Speaking of long way, I want to point out, and I was kind of bad for this, is I would always look at other people with what they had for fishing stuff and what I didn't have. And that's a terrible way to look at it. I know this is not going to turn some motivational video. First of all, nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again. No, it's not going to be one of those. You have to just be happy with what you have. And if you... Okay. Okay, hold on.
Start crying.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, just hold on. I'm not trying to get all... I was bad at this because I look at all these YouTubers and be like, this is such a sick boat. All these cool rods. All these cool fish. You have to be happy with what you have. I literally had a bungee cord and a stick. And 8 years later, boat, not to flex. I'm not trying to do that. Live imaging boat, nice rods, lots of tackle. I've come a long way.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things to keep in mind. Just be happy with what you have, take care of what you have, and work for what you want. Ooh, that's a bar. I'm putting that as my yearbook quote. Okay, sorry.
Amen. Yeah, you also have to kind of look at budget wise too. Like, are you ready to spend $900 on a rod that you can't even reel in? Like, you're $900 down and you don't even have a reel with the rods. So you also have to look at that too. But also for what you're doing. Like, if you catfish all the time, I wouldn't buy a walleye rod. Like, if you went out 5 times a year and just catfished, well, you're gonna have catfish gear and some weights and some hooks and stuff like that. Talk to people at fishing stores. This dude, and they'll put you on the right stuff. It's not like they're gonna go, ooh, you should buy this one. You should buy this one. Ooh, buy this one too because everyone uses this one.
Well,
it's a little bit of that.
I do that.
It's a little bit of that, but not entirely. Because more so you have to look at it what suits your needs kind of thing.
Apologies, guys. Cameras shut off. We're back. What were you saying?
So I was saying it's more of what you would need what your needs are for fishing. So if you walleye fish, you're obviously not going to go buy catfish and muskie and pike setups and all that fun stuff. So you have to keep that in mind. And yeah, like Nathan said, don't get caught up in what all these professionals use and all that fun stuff. I mean, if you want to go all in on it, like, and you want, the right rod, the right reel for the right scenario, that's a choice you have to make. It's not like you're going to get peer pressured into it. It's just something that you have to do research about, and have to, talk to people about and stuff like that, and ask, is it really worth it if I'm only going to fish for the next 10 years of my life? You know what I mean?
And the biggest thing is you have to think for yourself.
Exactly.
If someone tells you X, you got to sometimes just, take a step back. Who is this person? First of all, what are they trying to achieve? Are they from this brand? Is that where they're trying to get me by? What are they actually telling me? Because I used to listen to a lot of people be like, use this, use that, use that. And looking back, it's like, okay. If I would have taken just okay.
Let's breathe here.
Let's just breathe here. Yeah. What am I getting myself into? Why do I actually need this? Don't get too sucked into all the social media stuff. I mean, there are some people out there who actually just want you to catch fish, like Tom Boley, for example.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about his products, and stuff he uses, but that guy literally wants you to catch fish. He has an app. He actually. But then there's some people. I'm not gonna name names here. That, I mean, it's their job. They work for a brand. They want you to buy the product.
Right.
I see it all the time. But you have to be able to do the research, and you have to just kind of know for yourself what you want to get into, what you're getting yourself into. Because if you don't know what you want, then you're basically going to let someone else dictate what you're going to get.
Start diving right into it and be like, oh God, I'm $5,000 down, and I don't know what half this stuff does, or I don't even want this kind of thing, right? So you have to do research and know what you're going to get into before you actually do it.
A great example of that, product-wise, was the live imaging. I did a lot of research between Garmin, and I mean, I'm loyal to the brand with Humminbird. I kind of knew I was going to get it anyway.
Yeah.
But that's a good example of the live imaging. A lot of people are like, okay, I have the money to spend. What am I going to get? Do your research. That goes with literally anything.
Yeah.
And I found I did a lot of research, and my habit started is when I was young. I couldn't drive myself places. I can only go fishing every now and then. I'm like, okay, I want to do something fishing related. I have this time that I'm spending at home. What can I do to progress fishing wise while I'm not actually fishing? And I would watch YouTube videos, ask Google questions, and the stuff I already had, I would super take care of it, or just go over it and just work with what I have, if that makes sense. I would always be making sure the tackle was organized. I would be making sure my rod's in good condition, inspecting it. This is back when I had one rod and a tackle box. Be happy with what you have, work with what you have, and if you're not out there on the water, do something at home base, basically.
How you can
make your time worth it. Be efficient. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting at.
And that's what I think honestly every angler should do, because I mean, even if you do have a boat and you're not too familiar with lakes around Manitoba, there is countless maps and countless apps that you can use for mapping on a lake, and you can find out for yourself.
No. We'll wrap here. Just leave that camera. So yeah, you were saying mapping.
Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, with any angler should do this. I think they should, because I mean, it takes maybe 2 hours if you want to really dive into it. But there's so many maps and so many apps available for mapping on lakes around Manitoba. Angler's Edge Mapping is a great example. Avenza Maps has free maps on their apps that you can download, and they have fine detailed prints of lakes, Shoal Lake, Lake Winnipeg, Red River. I can go on and on. But they should honestly do research about that. Do research about where the fish like to hang out, where drum might be, catfish like to sit, walleye like to feed, bass like to thrive, kind of thing, and just go from there. Go back and forth. Zoom in on that fine printed stuff and find out where those fish are. Gather more info. It makes you a better angler overall, and you can really start to learn about stuff, across lakes in Manitoba. And also too, if you go out and fish them, and you fish multiple lakes, or fish one lake for a good portion of the summer or of the season, you're gonna find out what these fish like, where they are, and just you can expand from there, because this lake the walleye liked 6 feet of water, but in this lake the walleye liked 2 feet of water at this same time period, kind of thing. So it also makes you a better angler overall. And yeah, just doing research before you go out is such a key factor when you're actually on the water.
And let's put this into perspective just for a second. Our grandfathers did not have the technology and all this stuff at our fingertips that we have like right now. Like they couldn't go on Google, but okay, where are the fish biting right now? Or okay, what's over here? Where all this stuff.
Look at my phone and look at all the underwater reefs. And
yeah,
they never had that.
You had to go out there and do it yourself. Yeah. So when you're at home base, just put it into perspective of what you actually have. And I will make another point. If you're not sure what you want to be doing when you're not fishing, is get really familiar with the rule book and get familiar with what's around you.
That's another
honestly
thing too.
Literally, we're in the province of Manitoba. Go on Google Earth or whatever and just literally okay, let's just scroll in here. What's over here? Okay, I live here. What's more this way? I've never actually looked up here. What's that way? And the rule book. I'll be honest. I go over the rule book, the South Basin, every time it comes out. I don't memorize everything. I get the important stuff like the opening dates. But be familiar with the rules, because if there's one thing you should know, it is always the rules, and that is time well spent is making sure you know what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do when you're fishing.
And then you're not struggling on the boat to actually am I allowed to keep this amount of fish, and you're like, I don't know, right? And then it could cost you.
Nothing worse than a CO. Like when I see a CO, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm not allowed to do. I'm doing everything. It's fine. But if you're kind of what's the word? Eddie,
bending the rules.
You're not at ease with what you're doing. You're kind of just
not confident.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do this.
Exactly.
Make sure you know the rules. Get familiar with what's around you.
Yeah, exactly. There's an app that I use all the time. It's called Fish Brain, and it highlights water bodies that they include what species is in it. So you'll tap on Lake Winnipeg, and people upload posts of what they catch there. It's kind of weird sometimes because you'll click on some random creek, and it's like a 55-inch muskie was caught out of there. Okay, whatever. So for the most part, it's pretty accurate, but sometimes it has some weird people posting stuff on there. But
and the final app is the Master. Okay.
You can't speak.
The Master Angler website in Manitoba. It depends where you live, but we have the Master Angler website. Go on the website, look at the catches where they are.
Been caught.
For example, this last month, everything was Reynolds.
Yeah.
So I was looking at. I was just you kind of just know where everything is kind of at right now. It's kind of calmed down a bit. Reynolds was super hot. I would not have necessarily known if I hadn't have completely looked at the website.
Yeah, exactly. Another good one too is a stocking list in Manitoba.
You
can search that up.
The fact that you go to
it has, I don't know how far it goes down. It
goes down a while.
Yeah, so you can see what has been stocked in which lake, and then go from there.
There'll be fry fingerlings, the amount, date. Yeah, that's also good too.
Which body?
To know what's in what body of water.
Exactly. Yeah.
To summarize our points here, be happy with what you've got. If you're not where you want to be, you got to work for it. We didn't wake up I know how to cast a bait caster. No, we had to figure that out. We had to learn certain things. We had to save up money and all this sort of things.
Do a lot of research.
Get
familiar with our surroundings and, basically become the anglers that we are today.
Yep, exactly. And who knows where we'll be in 10 years, but as long as we keep progressing, and who knows?
Who knows?
That's all I've got.
That's all I've got too, man.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this episode. If you want, check all the other links in the bio for our social medias. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you just either A, enjoyed listening, or B, learned a little bit, or just put a couple things in perspective. Leave you thinking. I'm Nathan Blank.
I'm Kate Breeden. We'll see you on the next one.
Signing out.